They gave the camera something to see. Let me put my hand in your pants and we're going to play this up.
No, they don't.
Zar, how do you do all that and then be like, we still haven't had sex?
Well, so
Let's
every person that touched your penis had sex with you?
Whoa.
Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joe. And I'm coming on through giving very much Act 2, okay? I'm feeling very much 16 carriages. They are just riding away with my dreams on Married at First Sight, okay? Everything I wanted for this season is just on down the road, okay? So let's dig on in to Married at First Sight. This is season 17, episode 19. I hope you all are warm from this dumpster fire that is just ablaze.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. A lot of breakdown. And to your point, which this is random, but you mentioned while we was watching the show, they felt like they had to go find Chloe for Michael or another person for Michael.
They knew.
Just because they knew that they were on the brink of going 0 for 5.
Yeah. They're literally on the brink of 0 for 5. If not for Michael and Chloe, the rest of these people are getting a divorce.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's really bad. So let's dig on in and talk about... I would say let's talk about Clare and Cameron, but there's absolutely nothing to say there, and I appreciate that. So thank you, Clare and Cameron.
Well, actually, thank you to the producers of Married at First Sight, because for the first part of their breakdown, as well as Lauren and whatchamacallit's breakdown, they were constantly forced to film.
Yeah.
And everyone knew that they were not together.
Yeah.
So I appreciate them just saying, let's just move on. They must have been watching our video.
And it would have been wholly inauthentic to keep them filming. They don't know each other. They've only known each other for 10 days. This man made a decision after 10 days of knowing this young woman. It really makes no sense to even keep it going.
No.
It causes her more hurt. All parties involved more hurt to even keep filming and talking about it. Like, it was nothing. Let's pretend like it never happened and move on.
Yeah, because they, at this point, we all understand that Claire is going to inflate their situation.
Oh, my God.
Cameron's going to keep it real and also be by himself. So
it is so clear she's inflating the situation, and she wants to pretend like she's so hurt behind it, but she is not. And if I'm being very honest, I'm almost thinking that she wants to start a pact between Becca and Emily so they too can say no on decision day, only to stick it to the people.
I agree. I think misery loves company.
Yeah.
And I think that she was the one in that group that mentioned, oh, we just should all... It felt like, I'm going to just cut... We all saw what she said.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just translate. It felt like she was saying, we should just all say no.
That's what it felt
away.
like.
Like, girl...
That's what it was.
Mind your business.
Why
are you trying to convince other women what to say and what decision to make in their lives on decision day? That's
literally.
But that misery loves company is one of the truest cliches in mankind.
And she just doesn't seem like I don't feel like anything she does out the goodness of her heart. And that's sad because that's the look she got this, you know what I mean, in this season, or however she was filmed, but she just does not come off like a good person.
I agree.
Let's talk about crying ass Becca. Let me tell you something.
She wears me out.
I don't even want to say a name because some tears might be worked up somewhere in the world. Exactly. Like, I feel like Becca and Austin are exactly what we said they were in the beginning. We said this was not real. Mm-hmm. And you know who else said this wasn't real? Dr. Pia. She said, is this real? She asked them. She asked them in their therapy session, like, y'all all giddy. Is this real? Like, what's happening here? You know what I mean? And I think that she was right to do that. And let me say this. I do think that Dr. Pierre was going somewhere when she asked them, was it real? Something about Becca and Austin has always been disingenuous. And now we find that Austin has been curating this experience.
Well, I think they both have been curating this experience. And I think in the beginning, they were both focused a lot more on whether or not we are number one couple in the pack.
Oh, yes.
And I think
that's the problem.
Is what Dr. Pia probably caught on to and being in their presence and going, are y'all focused on being in front of the pack? Or are y'all focused on running your own race?
Right.
Which is big time why I always hated everybody who's famous as couple goals because y'all have to run your own race. You can't be concerned with what somebody else is doing or where you place amongst your friends or where you place amongst the ecosystem of couples in the celebrity sphere or the social media sphere. You just got to run your own race and be concerned about your relationship fitting the two of the people who agreed to be a part of it.
I think that's big. I do think that there is something to obviously what you're saying, but we live in this social media age where everything is about what it looks like. Mm-hmm. It's not even about what it is any longer. It's like really about what it looks like. And I think that that's what we're seeing with all of these couples, to be honest.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I think with all of them, and I think that's what's making it increasingly harder to pair people and get that kind of sexy feeling when people are kind of getting to know each other. Like, I love to see people fall in love, but it feels very hard for us to find that on Married at First Sight. And you would think in a place like Colorado, it wouldn't be that. Like, people would be ready in my brain.
I think the casting process has been severely watered down. I just think that they aren't as serious about the casting because, like I said, I think as time moves on, you have to adjust how you do this process as far as casting. You have to be strict and even more strict about the people that you're letting in because as all of these shows get bigger, this isn't even a Married at First Sight thing. I think as all of these shows get bigger, you're going to get more and more applicants, which means you're going to get more and more people that's just here to play in somebody's face.
True.
So you have to button down on the process and the whole because there's going to be too many people that's just out here to be seen.
But the thing is, in their defense, I do feel like it's something to what Austin is saying. Like, you will go through a real life experience, have a real life reaction to it, and then people online, will critique it. And that's not fair either. But
you can't be worried about that. And not to cut you off, but when you do things, when you sit down in front of a camera, if you are so focused on shaping a narrative, you will never be present to give whatever the thing is that you're trying to give 100%. When we sit down and we talk, we don't talk about what we're going to talk about beforehand. As far as like, you know what I mean? Yeah, we never say like, this is going to be your position and then I'm going to say this and then I'm going to say that. And I don't want you to say that because I don't want you to have, like, you can't, because people, I think part of the things that people like when they first started watching us is just the genuineness of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just be talking.
Yeah.
And I think that if you move in that space, whenever you go to do something in front of a camera,
it'll feel genuine. It'll translate.
It's go a much longer way. You can't be worried about, I don't want somebody's always going to be mad. I had a conversation with you a while ago about, somebody picking apart your video. Somebody always having something to say. Meanwhile, it's the era that we're in where it could be 6,000 thumbs up and 1 thumb down, and we'll go to why somebody didn't like this video. Why she say so and so? Why she, you know what I mean?
True.
You just can't. It don't matter what you do, especially on the internet. People live to troll. People live to tear people apart. Misery loves company, like I said. So people love to bring you down. If it's too many people loving you, they gonna hate just because they don't like that everybody love you.
That's so real and so true. The problem is in Austin's case that we already liked you. Now we don't like you because we're finding out
you're producing.
So now, including Becca, she like, well, who the hell are you? Mm-hmm. If this is not who you are in real life, this whole entire time, who are you?
If you can't get on here and just be like, fuck it, you shouldn't be on here. Period. Somebody's going to say something negative. Somebody's going to, especially the broader audience you have. You're going out to millions every week. If you can't get on there and just not care about what the trolls have to say, do not sign up. Nobody is forcing y'all to be on TV. No one is forcing y'all.
That's true. And I do think I think it takes a special kind of person to do reality TV in this particular realm. Mm-hmm. Because you are in such an unbelievably vulnerable place. And I don't think that they talk about that enough.
They don't talk about that enough. And like I said, I think that should be implemented a lot more in the onboarding process. Yeah. And it's not, because it is a big part of this. And I think for the producers, it's in their best interest to bring this up, because you don't want anybody on here who is trying to self-produce. So if you go through this process and you sit this person down and you say, listen now, you're going out to millions every week. It's going to be a lot of raw emotion, a lot of real stuff going on. If you don't think you can handle this, leave the producing to us. And if you don't think you can do that, this process is not for you. Literally.
And I do think that, and I'm certain they probably even had that conversation.
I don't think they do, to be honest. It's too easy. The more and more we find out about these process, we've realized it's too easy to get on. People coming on with whole families and stuff that nobody even, they got a baby mama that they just left 2 hours ago.
Yeah, that's a good point. The one guy was the owner of a yoga studio. He had all these gigs. He taking her to Jamaica, doing all these things.
It's too easy.
Not doing none of it. You're right. It's too easy. And I do think, what nobody talks about is that they're saying they're not getting a lot of male applicants that are like even worth the pickings. And I think that like we might be getting the run-of-the-mill woman just because, women are more apt to put themselves out there for things like this. But I think when it comes to the men, we're getting like the cream of the crop of that litter. You know what I mean? Of that litter of men. So I do find it fascinating. And so do you think that Austin is why do you think Austin is frustrated?
I think, one, Austin got paired with somebody who he's not attracted to. And he's also trying to save face within dealing with that situation. Yeah. Where he doesn't want to come off as looking. And I don't think, I'm going to say this. No one wants to come off looking
First bad. Of all, where you get this shirt from?
My wife gave me this shirt. I'm going to say this. No one wants to come off looking bad in public, period. So this is an understandable thing. I'm going to give him grace there. But I think that's playing a part in how he's acting this whole thing out. I think he was not attracted to her, but now he's trying to be a part of this process and not come off looking bad and not show that he's not attracted to her.
Right. And in doing that, you're actually right. Exactly. And I do think it's all of that. I think that he's not attracted to her, and it's unfortunate because. But also the crying is manipulative. And
I'm tired. I'm over it. I'm gonna be real. I'm tired of these other women weaponizing their tears, and I feel like this is a running theme not only on this show, but when we talk about Love Is Blind and all these other shows. They cry. It's like a child who knows they're in trouble and they immediately go, let me start crying.
And we're not saying don't cry. Like, I'm a crier. Like, I'll cry. Joe will cry, or hell. Like, we are literally people who express our emotions, but it feels weaponized.
It's weaponized.
Let us know what you guys think. It feels like, and it's almost to the point. It's funny because I think people don't understand, like, sometimes you can do things and you think it's a way that you're expressing yourself, and all you're doing is desensitizing your partner to whatever
my God,
your feelings are. You know what I mean? Like, we had to work through that in therapy because Joe would be yelling, and then I would be like, Joe, you cannot yell at everything because I'm just going to be like, it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
shut down.
Right. If everything is a thing, I can't do it. Like, you know what I mean? So we got to have levels to this shit. Like, nobody saying don't get mad.
You're right, because you can see how Austin is unbothered by this now.
Yes.
Because she cries at everything. And then I get online during the show and I see other people agreeing that that Becca's tears are exhausting.
We're gonna need an arc for all the tears she got.
Exhausting.
Okay, I'm like, girl. And my thing, like I said, I do believe that there is a space for you to be
vulnerable, emotional. We're not saying don't be emotional,
but it just feels something is off.
And this is where Austin has credence to what he says when he says, "I feel like you're trying to paint me a villain. Every time I sit next to you, you're in tears." At some point, this is a bad visual for me.
Yeah.
Every time I sit next to you, I'm a man in a shot with a woman who's always crying.
But then he don't want to talk about it. The problem is that the reason why I give her a little bit of grace, because in truth, the undercurrent of this is that I like Becca. I'm talking to my girlfriend and telling my girlfriend, you're doing a little bit too much of the crying, okay? If you want him to do what you want him to do, you got to learn how to use your words. Mm-hmm. The problem is that when she does that, he then has the opportunity to remove himself from the situation, be emotionally unavailable. If you continue to have the conversation,
he gotta respond.
You gotta respond. Don't give him that out.
Yeah.
And that's what we worked on. Like I'm literally absolving myself of being responsible for this by the way you're acting. But if you come to me...
So now the thing isn't getting talked about.
The thing is no longer the thing because I'm trying to get like past this. You know what I mean? And I think that that's what's happening here.
It is.
And because in truth, he don't like to talk about nothing. He does skate around every goddamn thing. And that is frustrating. But I would 1,000% would be like, I'm not going to shed now one more tear for this mother jumper. Listen to me. We have to talk. Like, you know what I mean? And you got to be real. And then it almost feels like when they were filming their diary videos, she wasn't doing all that crying.
Right.
Only when it was like lights, camera, action.
Yes. If it's somebody in front of them, if they're in front of the cameras, if they're around people, it's the sympathy thing. It feels like, give me sympathy. That's what he talking about. Give me sympathy.
But that's why I can't give a damn about either one of y'all. Because you're both wrong. And you're wrong for each other, and it's exhausting.
Yeah,
okay?
Let them go. Split this up.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how Emily don't be crying. This is how I know Emily be really pissed. Because Emily got her skull cracked.
Yes.
Her skull cracked. Yes. She was concussed. Yeah. And Mama was not. She was so composed. And not to say that you have to be that way, y'all. I'm just saying... It's easier.
There's a difference.
There's just a difference.
And when you see Becca and Emily, you really understand the difference between what we're talking about. Somebody who's just genuinely trying to figure this out with their partner and somebody who is weaponizing.
Who's trying to manipulate them to do what they need them to do.
Because Emily is the quintessential, like, I'm trying to figure this out. When Emily cries, it's because she's hit her wall.
Yes. And you feel exhausted with her.
Yes.
Like, you feel like you like, yeah, girl, yeah, girl, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
And you're not getting what you want.
Yes.
Now, Brennan, on the other hand, is convinced he saved Emily's life.
Brennan's a little bit of a psychopath, man. Like, I the more that he gets in these sticky situations, the more the real him comes out.
Oh, yes.
And then you realize, how did he get in this process? This
Be
is
yourself.
what we're talking about. How did we get here? How did he?
Because they picked his picture first.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all DMing people on Instagram and stuff like that. Like, and it's very clear that you are, because he should not be. I saved your life.
He said, I saved your life.
What?
I wanted that to sit. That's why we gave it a pregnant pause, because we really wanted y'all to sit with that. I saved your life. I almost find it to be. But the way she was like. Like, she could not even believe it. Not only is it insulting, it's very clear that you didn't do anything out the kindness of your heart.
No,
because if you did, if it was about saving my life, if it was about doing something to help me, it wouldn't even be something that would become cyclically. Like, I would never hear about it again, because that's just who you are.
Yes.
To do good things, be nice, and you know what I mean? Help save people. You don't feel Mother Teresa wasn't over there gloating about all the people she done saved. Hell, it was Jesus Christ. Right. So it's like, for me, it's like so indicative of who he is.
It is. It's showing the real him. It's we getting back to the real him, because when they were in the throes of her recovery, everything was glossed over.
It took all of 7 days.
And now you're right. And now we right back at square one, where he's being a dick himself.
Yes.
And he's also a huge producer. He's also trying to produce his best to make himself look as good as he can while under the sheets really snaking her. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And doing and really treating somebody who is the most, I mean, she's the most positive person on the show. So for him to sit in front of her and say, you know, I just think I can't do the negativity as a trigger for me. The bull's a liar. He's a liar.
We're all watching it.
He's a liar.
It almost annoys us when she's too positive. We're like, all right,
yeah,
like enough
You're
is enough.
That's one,
like, don't do that.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, it's so fascinating to watch, and for him to say, oh, well, you always talking about you hate this, or you thought his vows were vanilla. They were vanilla. He don't even know her. So what?
But that's just them talking. That wasn't even a. This is him saying, "Oh, you spilled the milk. You're a messy person. I can't live with you."
Yes.
That's all this is. He's looking for something to say that's ridiculous. Who? First of all, Emily, you should run from that alone. Who want to be with a spouse who they just can't shoot the shit with? I can't just tell you something without you being like, I don't want you to say that. How do you feel about world hunger?
But
you know what I mean? It got to be a bigger thing.
1,000% correct. Me and Joe, Lord knows, we always say the feds is watching because
we be talking.
We be like, oh, we gotta chill. The feds is outside. We really be talking,
because
talking
honestly,
real mess.
I feel like if you marry someone and you are locked in with them, who else am I supposed to say this stuff to?
Right.
Like,
right.
Honestly, tell me. Who else am I allowed to say this stuff?
Yeah,
to?
like all my intrusive thoughts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All my raw, real, sometimes disrespectful ass thoughts.
I mean, he be disrespectful, y'all.
I mean, I'm gonna say, you gotta say, but where else can I lay this
he
stuff?
reminds me.
Yeah, like where else can I say that? Like,
right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Because when you get to the point where you feel like you can't talk to your partner,
what are we doing?
That's it. A lot of times that's the beginning. It don't be somebody fine walked by. It don't be, you know what I mean? Nothing like that. It be people get to the point where they stop talking.
Yeah.
And when you stop talking, that's it. You bound to drizzy. You can't.
I didn't mean to bring that
stop.
back.
Well, it's back. You cannot stop talking, and that means for anything. That means about anything. Like your partner should be able to just say what they say. Oh, I thought it was whack. I thought her dress was whack. If we can't sit in the car after the wedding and talk about how whack the John dress was,
let me tell you something.
Doing?
Don't invite me and Joe, because when we leave, we talking about it.
We are critiquing. Period.
We have not left anything.
Nothing.
And not debriefed
Nothing.
afterwards. I mean,
not one thing.
Not one thing. Yo, we went to a funeral, and we was with our family all day long. We left the funeral. We went back to the hotel. We were just up talking.
We was up all night.
Just talking, like we were talking about everything. Anything that ain't the line. It just started with this and it turned into that. But that's the thing, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you gotta purge. Sometimes I gotta get it out.
That is, to Becca and Austin's case, that's a form of intimacy.
Yes.
That's what I was telling y'all the other week. Like, intimacy is not just slapping skins. Talking and being able to release your real raw thoughts. Yeah. That's how you get closer to somebody.
And that's cathartic and that's orgasmic. And that's like, you know what I mean? Like you said, that gets you so much closer to people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just this physical thing. That's so easy.
It's not. It's
so
when you
easy.
See these couples out here where you like, how did he get her? Or how did she get him? They talk. I'm telling you right now.
Somebody got some money.
I'm saying, but obviously, I'm not talking about like Hugh Hefner's girlfriend. I'm saying like when you see these real couples out here, where you like, how did that happen? They talking. 9 times out of 10, they talk. He feel like he could tell her anything. Woody whoop. They got some weird stuff that they both find a common place in. Y'all don't really know you know what I mean? Yeah. Like when you
inside Joe, me and Joe, yes, we the king and queen of inside jokes.
You to death. Inside joke you to death.
Y'all be in the box, don't know what the hell is going on. Like, what is so funny? But I do think that's a part of it. And I think for him to say, like, for Brennan to say, like, oh, she's not she's negative.
I can't
like
do
in order for
negativity.
her to, I feel like in order for you to be negative, it has to be how you approach your own life, not necessarily how you see other people's lives. Because I'm like, if she doesn't approach her own life in a negative way, and we see that, right? But if she talking about other people and she just like, did you see that?
Right.
That ain't negative. That's just being.
That's just talking.
That's literally just talking. She's just being observant.
That's it.
And I just find he just grasping at straws. And I think that this whole thing, like, oh, I saved your life. Like, the only thing Emily got on my nerve, I'd have cursed him out so goddamn bad. I'd have called his mother all types of whores. I'm not kidding. I would have laid into him so bad. It would have been for me, the ancestors, the pilgrims, and the natives. Everybody would have got it. Because for you to sit up in my face after I have literally had damn near 30 stitches removed from my head, and then you pretend like you the motherfucker that put them in?
Yeah. And that should absolve you of all wrongdoing. That's the weird part to me. Like, he was saying it as if, like, let's say you did save her life.
Let's say you did.
You allowed to be a shit husband after that?
But you know what, though? That feels like how y'all operate. If for some reason it feels like that's how your mother and your father love each other. You've seen that somewhere. Mm-hmm. You don't come up with that and think that, like, that's okay. Right. That's not something you come up with. Like, you've seen that. You've seen somebody tick for tack somebody to death. So now she like, well, I fed you for dinner. That means I gave you sustenance. What, you know what I mean? Like, everything can't be a thing. I just find him to be abhorrent. Justice for Emily. So Cameron, who is a real one, told Claire that, which I don't know if I believe Cameron was even talking to Claire, to be honest, but this is the story Claire told Emily, that Brennan was trying to go on a double date with Cameron. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, it didn't surprise me. I mean, I think Brennan has wanted out of this for so long that you could tell me anything about Brennan at this point and I would believe it.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like, he was dating. You could tell me he was outside, like, just outside the apartment with a John. I would be like, he probably was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's so bad at the producing and covering up. Yeah. That I wouldn't put anything past him. I think he probably said it. He tried to pull it back and say, well, I was just joking. No,
nobody's ever joked like that before, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I think and I think I think it is realistic that because he doesn't know Cameron like that, he put it out there as a joke to see if he would take the bait.
So passive aggressive.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it was.
And you know what, though? I actually think that's exactly how it was. That's probably how it was.
He doesn't, we got to realize that these people aren't really friends.
Yeah.
They don't really know each other, right? So he really don't know how far he can go and with who. So if he heard Cameron is going on dates or whatever, he said, oh, I got to see if I could join Cameron. But he probably said, I can't outright ask Cameron because I don't know if Cameron going to take this back to somebody else.
But I feel like Emily knew. Something about her reaction felt...
Emily has for a while been trying to close her eyes to things that has been so blatantly out in the open. Yeah. And so I think that I agree that she probably has turned a blind eye to a lot of red flags because she's with him every day. We see the stuff that they show us on TV. Yeah. She has to see more. It has to be way more red flags.
And to find out that he told her that some diary cams he has asked her to delete.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? Yeah. And the fact that, first of all, they shouldn't even allow y'all to do that.
And Emily has bent over backwards and twirled herself into a pretzel to appease him for so long that I'm sure that that's just the beginning of the things that she's done to try to make sure that he sticks around. I'll delete these things.
Yeah, like, I won't talk about this.
We've already uncovered that they used to debrief about what they would talk about in these counseling sessions that were filmed. Right.
So now I'm hoping that when we get to the reunion, because now I'm so far past decision day, it's not even funny, y'all.
Decision day is over. We can almost
let's move on.
Take that to the casino and make a bet on that. It's over.
I almost want it to be more explosive. Like, I want to see people get cursed out.
Explosive.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't enough telling people. And I'm not.
It's a lot of fakeness. I agree.
That's what I mean. Because I'm not a big proponent. He knows. Like, I've grown. There was a time in my life where I would air somebody out. It's not on my spirit like that no more. I don't have the energy. So, but I do think sometimes people need to get cursed the hell out.
I agree. Some people is asking
it's
for
It's very underrated. I think that sometimes you really got to air someone out and let them know, like, you know what I mean, till you do right by me type situation. Like, and I feel like Brennan is cruising for a bruising, if you're picking up what I'm putting
And
there.
I agree that I don't think that it's enough of that on all sides. Like, I don't think the experts do enough of that either.
But I also, I'm glad you brought that up. Because you know what I was thinking about? With Becca and Austin, we would have found out Becca and Austin had bigger issues had there been more participation from the experts.
I agree.
Because
and more holding people's feet
it would have been
fire.
the veil would have been falling for them. Like,
yeah,
what's going on here? Like, let's really talk about this. It's not even why aren't y'all having sex? Like, what the hell is going on? Do you like her or not? Do you find her attractive?
Yeah, like, why are you leaving the bedroom? You
to go sleep in another man's room.
But even in your own place.
Right.
Like, but he was doing, the truth of the matter is he was doing, this isn't new behavior. So what's making you do these things? What's happening? You know what I mean? Like, it's not enough. What happens is Becca realizes in these sessions that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So she unloads oil all over the place. Mm-hmm. She's crying and doing all of this other stuff. And then everybody flocks to that and goes, you see your wife crying? You see Becca crying? Yeah. Let's talk about this. And now he's trying to play cover up because he doesn't want to look terrible on camera like we already uncovered. And now there's two people in a relationship. The relationship is never going to be healthy if only 50% of it is happy and being tended to. Yeah. It's never going to happen. I don't care what the sex of, I don't care if it's two guys, two girls, a guy and a dog, however you identify, it's never going to happen if only one half of the relationship is happy and being tended to. And Becca has made sure in these sessions that people are only talking about her issues.
That is so true. Because we don't even know what his grievances are.
We don't even know. They haven't been on at all. Because all we see is
outside of the micromanaging
is this
thing.
Woman crying.
Yeah.
And now we have to fix it. We have to fix these clear tears.
All I know is that Claire is an agent of chaos, and I really do blame all of this on her. I mean, the demise of all of their relationships. Now, I don't know why, but I don't know. Something about her feels very Thanos.
Not
so it does. I'm not pretending. Let's talk about Michael and Chloe. I think something's happening here. What do you think?
What you mean by that? Tell me. I don't think nothing.
I think something's a brewing. I think she's starting to get into it. We saw him on the couch. They was all touching on each other.
That doesn't mean anything but that she was horny. That doesn't mean anything. That means nothing to me. And I thought that it was completely inappropriate for them to show that.
Wow. Why do we? What to be a Debbie Downer?
I think it's them trying to play this up. This is the only couple that is not completely crumbling.
Wow, I didn't think about it that way.
So it's in their favor to save one to the end. And now they have to build this narrative. Look, y'all, they falling in love. They touching each other. They would do. Chloe does not like Michael. She has not liked him since the beginning, since she first saw him. She didn't like him when she heard that he was paired with somebody else. She was pulling a Brennan. But she made it his issue that he got left at the altar
right
with somebody else, and then she verbally admitted, I would not have done this had I heard that I was the replacement pairing, right? So she's never liked him from the beginning. She treats him like she doesn't like him. When she talks about him amongst the other women and everybody else, it's very clear that she doesn't like him and she's not into him.
But I talk about you like that. No, I'm getting better. I'm getting way better.
Not like this, you don't. It's a difference. Yeah. Not like this, you don't. It's very clear that she doesn't like him. She's constantly giving us this fictitious sense of happiness and cuteness, and everything is so inflated, but also very faux. Like, there's nothing that she says about him that comes across as genuine and real. So y'all think y'all gonna show us a video of her reaching her hands down his pants and we gonna go, oh, they in love now.
No, I don't think that, but I do think she might be getting more comfortable. It's very clear that she was very uncomfortable in the beginning. My drink is kicking in. So it's very clear to me.
Her drink was kicking in too, and that's why she reached her hand down his pants. Let's be real about this.
Joe.
Who says? How do we know she's uncomfortable?
Don't do too much on Chloe.
That's real.
Y'all know I don't really care for her. However, I like the way this made me feel, and even if it's superficial,
it's working on you because you're not going to play me.
Let's talk about it objectively. Then, I feel like Dr. Pia asking them to go to the adult store so early in a relationship was weird. I think that it
was weird.
Not that I think that going. I'm anybody who knows me knows I'm very sex positive, very. But I do think it's something about getting to know your spouse, exploring them fully, really getting comfortable with them outside of these spaces so that you can enjoy these spaces.
Yeah, because you can't be comfortable in the bedroom and you're not comfortable with them outside the bedroom. You just can't.
You can't be comfortable in spaces that require you to be a little bit more free, sexually open or curious, and you're not that way at home. You just it's very hard to navigate. Like I'm like a big I love going to a strip club. I probably like going to a strip club more than Joe like going to a strip club. But we wouldn't be able to go and enjoy spaces like that together if we weren't able to enjoy the intimacy of one another at home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it requires so many things to feel comfortable, one in yourself to be in spaces like that, but then also to be comfortable with your spouse, be comfortable with somebody else in spaces like that. Like before, I don't know that Joe experienced that with anybody else before him and I got together or whatever the case may be.
I didn't. I could tell you right now, I've never been to the gentleman's establishment with another spouse. Like or another girlfriend or anybody that I was dating. Like I've never.
But I think
that's a closeness thing.
That's a closeness thing, right? Because also inversely, sometimes people get that's going there, right? But even going to the adult store, which requires you to talk about like things that you like, things that you want to like, you know what I mean? Right. Experience and be touched and be, whatever. That requires a certain amount of trust and intimacy and safeness that I don't know that everybody has in the beginning. Like, I don't think that's something that should be forced.
Everybody don't have that in the beginning, and it's very clear to me that Michael and Chloe do not have that.
And I think that's something natural. Like, now, naturally, we can just be like, oh, let's go to the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we need to get you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
We can do that now because you feel so comfortable doing that. Do I think that's a conversation we could have had when we first got together in 2018? No.
Right.
Absolutely not. I don't think we were ready for that. Do I think we could have gone to see the ladies in 2008? No, I don't think
the ladies.
I'm being for real. Like, I don't think that's something that, you know what I mean? That's not near where we were. I think that this is a sign of growth when you grow to
they don't have
like
that.
this.
It's clear.
But I don't think that anybody else should dictate them having it. I thought that was kind of like.
I agree. You can't dictate that. You can't usher somebody into that.
Right.
You just
That's my point. That's my point. Did I think it was fun to watch? Absolutely. I thought it was cute. Just like everybody else thought it was cute. I did. You know what I mean?
I think it was cute. I really didn't need to see them in the store doing all that. I really didn't. Because to me, it feels fake. I like to watch. To be honest, it matters not. Going back to what we were saying earlier, to me, it matters not if it's done well, if it's slick, if it's fly, if it's trendy. To me, it matters if it's real. I like to see real couples, real people that are really into each other. They could be on my 300-pound life, loving each other.
That's a fact.
I just started watching, don't judge me. I just started watching This Is Us. I've heard about it forever. This is a great show, whatever. So it hit Netflix or whatever, I think. I started watching it. I love the big couple. I love them. You know what I mean? It's nothing sexy about it.
Right.
But they are doing such a good job creating a realistic environment of love and flirtiness and light,
and that could be sexy,
and that it's the reality of it though. That's my point.
Yes,
it's the reality of it. Like that's a show. That's not a reality show. That's a show. I know they're acting
right,
but they're doing such a good job of it that it pulls you in. You rooting for these? They both 400 pounds, and you like, yes, get that, take them to the bathroom.
I know,
you know what I
do love it.
So for me, it's not about. It's not even about. They're both two attractive people in their own right.
Yeah,
but it feels fake. I don't want to see them in a sex store because they don't have the chemistry to be in a sex store together.
But that's my thing. And although I believe that there are some reactions that can happen to build chemistry, I think that there were some things that they could have done at home outside of an environment like that that could have kind of got the juices flowing. Like they could have used a game in the bedroom where they talked about their favorite position and this and that. Because you got to have those conversations first.
Yes. And it's nice. It's nothing wrong with if they want to do that.
Yeah.
And they feel comfortable. There's nothing wrong with having a vehicle to take you there. You know what I mean? You playing the card games and all that. That shit is cool. I like it. It's fun. You know what I mean? It is. But y'all have to... You can't force nobody on that.
Right. And that's all I'm saying. Like, I felt like, you know what I mean? Although I felt like I understood exactly where Dr. Pia was going, I just felt like that might be something that you would give somebody who's trying to reignite a flame versus somebody who don't got a flame, need a match, they don't have it. So I think to push them, that's almost like not even a deep end. That's pushing them in the North Sea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need to, like, let's dial it back and really talk about, like, what sex and intimacy even looks like for you, because that's not even something I'm privy to right now.
How about that?
And I think that matters. Like, when you experiencing things and you're opening up yourself, and then this is at least from my perspective, when you're opening up yourself in that kind of way, it requires a sense of safeness from the conversations that you have about what you like, when you like it, how you like it, where you want to be flipped and thrown. You got to have those conversations first, and then you can experience. Then it's like, oh yeah, we can go and throw some money at some bitches. I don't give, you know what I mean?
It got to be some comfortability. Even to tell somebody to go do this, take this card game or whatever, like that has to be a level of comfortability. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's not even... I could think about things that we've done that I could have never imagined doing with somebody else. Not because I wasn't physically attracted.
Right.
Because I didn't have that comfortability. You know what I mean? Like, we played that card game was fun.
Oh my God, don't tell these people.
Let me tell you, that card game was fun, y'all. and we gotta bring the card game back.
I know you like that.
But that's comfort. That's comfort, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? You don't do that type of stuff with anybody. Yeah. Especially in the beginning. They only known each other how long at this point?
But that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that don't find a way to help them build the chemistry and get the reactions flowing. I'm just saying I don't know that that's a very big step. And I think it was a big step because as I'm thinking about their conversation, because Chloe mentioned how like they're very comfortable with each other. Like they're people who are already naked in front of one another. They touch each other, all those things like that. Unlike Becca and Austin, which is...
But they 2 weeks in, you like, have y'all been naked with each other? Have y'all masturbated each other?
I thought that was big to say.
Girl, what are you saying?
I thought that was a big question.
This is production to me. This is production to me. This is production trying to coax this couple into being the poster boy of the season.
Do you know how comfortable you have to be to masturbate with somebody?
Like,
and this is a big conversation. This is a very adult conversation right now.
It's very adult.
But I do think that like that is so intimate.
I think they're trying to push them into this place so that they say, they have a couple at the end of the season to say, look, we didn't completely fail.
Yeah, but like Dr. Pia, put on the brakes, baby. We got to hit the yellow light because I'm feeling like that was a lot. Now that I think about it, I think that's really
They told her to take it there. They did.
Because, neither one of these grown people felt uncomfortable to me. Even though Chloe felt a little uncomfortable about talking about having sex, which was weird because she also the girl that sleep with a vibrator under her pillow.
Because the truth of the matter is they aren't having sex, which they said in the thing.
They did.
Right? Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about the fakeness. Like, they know that the cameras is on.
Right.
They gave the camera something to see. Let me put my hand in your pants and we're going to play this up.
No, they don't.
Zar, how do you do all that and then be like, we still haven't had sex?
Well, so
Let's be
every
real.
person that touched your penis had sex with you?
Whoa. I don't know how we got there. How do you sit on the couch, play this whole thing up? We saw the video. Play this whole thing up like y'all getting so high and heavy. No one's in the room. Mind you, this is the nanny cam. This is not.
But that happens all the time.
No, it does not. That's BS.
So every time,
That's
even
BS.
every time we touch each other, we not having sex.
No, that's not to the point where that was foreplay. That was foreplay. So you convincing me that they get hot and heavy on the couch with nobody around.
Yes, I believe that.
No,
I believe
BS.
that, Joe.
That's BS.
People do it all the time. No. You will literally sit with your hand in my shirt.
The fact of the matter is, we have too much evidence that this couple does not have the chemistry and the sexual chemistry that you're comparing to us with. We just talked about it.
I'm not comparing it.
We can't. So then let's not compare then.
Yeah, I'm not comparing.
Because we can't do that. We just talked about how it's too soon for them to even be in a sex store.
Because I do believe I think that's a big step for new couples. I do.
And we talked about why. We talked about why specifically. Yeah. So take that same conversation and impart it here. These are the same reasons why it's weird that y'all try to convince us that y'all getting so hot and heavy on the couch, and then y'all sit in front of Dr. Pia and she's like, have y'all even been naked in front of each other? And they like, no. Come on.
Well, they have been naked in front of each other.
Well, I'm talking about them actually going to where Dr. Pia wanted them to go. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like it's fake. Not only that, but we have the evidence of one half of the relationship constantly being fake about everything.
I don't know, Joe. I think I hear what you're saying. I really do. But I do think that their moment on the couch was honest and real. It just felt genuine. But the thing is, the only thing about it that feels disingenuous is when you know that they can delete what's on the camera. Because if you knew that you were doing something,
they wasn't caught. What
I'm saying is based on what the other girl said about Emily and Brennan deleting their diaries.
Yeah.
Is that considered a diary, y'all?
So the diary cam is the cell phone joint. When you see them in their bathroom, and they're like,
okay.
Yeah, he ain't come home last night. That's the diary cam. So this is the nanny cam, John. But they know that stuff is rolling. But that's when they catch them, when they caught Emily and Brennan arguing in the kitchen or whatever, and he talking about the camera, and Becca and Austin is talking about, I don't like how you let me look on TV and all that. They know those cameras are running still. They're just not in your face, and they are not doing the cell phone thing. So my thing is, they know that they're there. They're not stupid. And I think more so Chloe than Michael. Michael is a part of the process. Yeah. More so Chloe, to me, Chloe's going to manipulate the cameras, what they do, what they say. Everything she says sounds like, a principal at a conference or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just so phony. So to me, you just can't get me to believe that she's really into him, that she's, it just brought her to this place of releasing her sexual proclivities, and now she wants to jump his bones, and you get out of here. You're not going to convince me of that. Not a week before decision day or whatever, and all of a sudden the switch just flipped, and now she can't keep her hands off of him, but not enough to have sex. Just to give come on, y'all. You're not going to convince me of that.
I really want to go with you there because I do feel what you're saying. But I have a little faith that they
I don't got no faith.
Are into one another. It felt good watching them in the store because it felt like they were having fun with it. Like it didn't feel like, it felt uncomfortable, but not like we were harming any, animals were harmed during this process. Yeah. I felt like I like that. And I like that. I felt like, it felt awkward enough. They obviously feel comfortable with each other. They walk around naked and everything like that. They engage each other while naked.
That don't mean nothing. Michael is not, as much as she doesn't like Michael as a person, Michael's not an ugly man. Yeah. Her putting her hands on him doesn't mean anything to me. What you say, meat on the bone? Like, that's what it is. Like, at the end of the day, she not blind. Yeah. You know what I mean? Michael's not, you know what I mean? So that doesn't mean anything to me. You go to a strip club and people putting their hands on each other. They ain't going home together.
Yeah. So inversely, Becca and Austin are also, Becca will be getting dressed in front of him and he doesn't engage her.
She is blowing this thing. Becca just, if Austin.
You think she's blowing it up?
Everything is blown out of proportion with Becca. I was getting dressed and he didn't even look at me and what does that mean? Like
he might not have though.
Y'all might have been late. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting dressed. If she late, I'm not looking at her neither. I'm like, girl, put some pants on. We have to go. I ain't trying to sex you up. Like, you know what I mean?
He's lying.
I mean,
Joe is never not trying to sex me up.
Listen,
I could literally be sick.
I'm gonna tell y'all this.
Throwing up about to like I will be laying on the side. And then I feel Joe like playing with my boobs or something like that. And I'm like, I do not feel good. Like,
I'm going to say this. Two things could be true. I also hate being late.
He does hate being late.
It burns me to my core.
Yeah, he does.
One of the things that is a part of how I run my own business, which is myself, is punctuality and preparedness. I always want to be on time and I always want to be prepared. It's two pillars of my life and it has got me far in life, farther than I thought I was going to go, if I'm being transparent in career stuff. Punctuality and being prepared. So being late burns me up in any walk of life. I don't care. We only going to the bar to meet friends. I'm like, we told them 7:30, it's 7:35 and we not in the car yet. Like it burns me up. So I've
been better.
No. You have been leaps and bounds, like overwhelmingly improved over the past. You've absolutely been better. But I'm just saying that's my truth. Like I get anxiety. It's just I get anxiety. Like I can't help it to this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I be a little anxious, like, yo, like we late. Like
he be in the car. I be like, I don't have no shoes on, no hair.
Like ready to go. So I'm saying all that to say, Becca everything is inflated to Becca.
When it's not what she wants.
When it's not even all that. Like everything is a thing with her. So it's hard you can't always run to the rescue if the boy is always crying wolf. And that feels like Becca to me. I don't know what to believe with you.
Okay, well, hedge your bets. We're moving into decision day. I'm going to say Becca and Austin are going to stay together. But Clare and Cameron and Emily and Brennan are for sure getting a divorce. And Brennan is trying to make Emily get the divorce because he wants to say, well, I didn't want the divorce. She wanted it. Because he came in this saying he was never getting a divorce, which only 8 weeks proved that was a lie. So
I'm going to say this, y'all. I think they are going 0 for 5 this year. I think they tried.
I forgot that they even had another couple.
Yep.
Damn.
So I think that they tried their best to thwart that with Michael and Chloe. I think Chloe will eventually stick a knife in that and be like, in the best principled way that she can, say that she's out of it. I think Becca and Austin are absolutely...
I don't think they're going to get a decision day the same day that they get it.
They might not. But I think when they do, she's going to say no. I think Becca and Austin are a no. Obviously, Clare and Cameron are cooked. And I think Emily and Brandon are cooked. I think this is going to be the first 0-5 season. Is it the first 0-5 season? I think it's the first that in my watching time that they've gone 0 couples say yes on decision day. I think that it will happen this year.
Well, if you're asking me for my decision, I do not want to stay married. Married at first sight, got to go back to the drawing table.
They do.
Y'all got to go back because this is such a fantastic concept.
Yeah, and they've been messing it up. They've been messing.
It's like not fun to watch.
Get to the roots.
It's like not even. It's not even good to watch them. Like how they say it's like you could watch a train wreck. Mm-hmm. This is not even a train wreck, right? Yeah, this is like babies falling off the top. You're like oh my god, like that ain't fun. That ain't fun. So. Do us a favor, Busty, and let us know what you guys are thinking. What are your bets for decision day? Who's staying together? Who's getting a divorce? I'm your girl, Zar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Zar Conner. And we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later. Bye.